hai đại diện của trường Arts University Bournemouth tại Anh, cũng là một trường đối tác chiến lược của Artpink. Tôi xin giới thiệu là có cô Harijo, là cô sẽ là quản lý khu vực đại diện tuyển sinh ở khu vực Indochina, và hôm nay chúng ta có cô Maria Quero, cô cũng là đại diện tuyển sinh và trợ lý giáo sư cho chuyên ngành Animation tại trường AUB. Firstly, I would like to share the sincere thanks to all of the distinguished guests, parents, and students for being here with us. Artpink Webinar series of regular online event organized by Artpink's academy staff from June 2022 to introduce knowledge about studying abroad in art and apply art to parents and students and all of the internet audience. The event is held every 2 months on the last Friday of the month. So joining us today, we would like to introduce all of the distinguished guest speaker. So Ms Maria Quero, she will be the important persons when you want to apply in AUBs, especially in animation majors. So today the webinars will have 3 parts. The first part we will have a look about the Arts University Bournemouth. I'm sure that when you see and you come to the nations and you study, the most important things you have to have a look and you have to research about the university that you going to. It's very important. So the second part we will have closer look to the animation course at AUB, and the final part is the most interesting part, is the Q&A part. We'll have the interaction with the professional teams at the AUB. So let the webinar begins. So I will share my host to Ms Maria Quero. So she will share you the slides. She has been prepared for a long time. I think that there's been a lot of hard working in there. So you will have a lot of information. Thưa quý phụ huynh, và để bắt đầu chương trình hôm nay, tôi xin được nhường quyền chia sẻ tới cô Maria Quero. Cô sẽ trình bày slide để giới thiệu về trường AUB cũng như là chuyên ngành animation tại trường. Và cuối buổi chúng ta sẽ có phần Q&A part, vậy nên quý phụ huynh và học viên nếu có bất kỳ câu hỏi nào có thể đặt câu hỏi tại dưới box chat, và buổi webinar này sẽ được livestream ở trên fanpage của Học viện Mỹ thuật Artpink. Quý vị cũng có thể là theo dõi và đặt câu hỏi trên này ạ. Okay, Ms Maria Quero, so let's begin.
Thank you so much, TH롬, for that introduction, and thank you so much to the Academy to organize this session for everybody here today. Really pleased to be here with everybody, and thank you also to my colleague Harijo, who is here as well, signing from AUB directly, and is going to be joining me as well in the Q&A session for answer any questions that you may have. As one say, I'm going to be sharing the presentation now. Hopefully, let me see if I can share my presentation and you can all see it. Hopefully, it should be okay. So as Tuan said, today we are going to go through first a little bit of an introduction about AUB, who we are and what we do basically as an institution. And then we will go deeply into more details about one specific program that we have at AUB, one specific creative subject, which is our degree course in animation production, one of our most popular degrees, I have to say, in the university for students that come to study. So starting with the university, and just to give everybody in here today a bit of an understanding of who we are and what we do, the Arts University Bournemouth is a leading art university for the creative industry. We are actually one of the only 15 specialist universities in the whole of the United Kingdom. So we are very specialist, very niche on what we do. We are an institution that likes to think that we are on the forefront of innovating, collaborating, and making students to connect their ideas with other professionals from the industry. So we're trying to turn all of that creativity that students bring to our specialist universities from all over the world into the talent that they need and the skills that they need to go and work for the creative industry. So we are based in one creative campus, one state-of-the-art facility campus, and we offer different disciplines with unlimited opportunities for our students. You're going to see there, let me put the music a little bit down. The images that you are seeing there when I'm talking through this presentation are all work that is being produced by our students. And I think it's important to have this work alongside my explanation of who we are and what we do, because this is really what for us is all about. As an art specialist university, we wanted to ensure that our students are the top of the range for the creative industry. They are students well prepared once they graduate to go and work for that demanding creative industry out there. We are an institution that's been established for quite some time now, over 130 years. And as I mentioned before, we are a specialist institution. And what that means is that all of the programs that we offer at AUB, all of the degree courses, the foundation courses, the postgraduate masters or PhD that we have within our higher education university are related to art, design, media, and performance. So we're very focused on what we deliver to our students. And because of that focus, we basically design all of our courses pretty much in a way to mirror the work of the creative industry. We're trying our students to learn on the time they are with us things they are going to really need for their career. So we are a creative community. We are not a big university inside, but we have a huge number of over 4,000 creative students and people in our campus that come from over 60 different countries from all over the world. So the diversity, the creativity, it's something that anybody that comes and visits our campus can see firsthand and enjoy. We are also the UK top specialist art and design university by the Good University Guide in 2021, and also the #1 specialist university for the employability by the Times Higher Education. We are located in a small place in Bournemouth in the southwest of the UK. It's a beautiful location. Very close to London, less than 2 hours from London, but offer students, especially those students like the ones we probably having here today, listening to this session, that are really far away. Some of them may be leaving their country for the first time. And I was many years ago, one of those students leaving my country and coming to the UK to study. So I know that sometimes there are a lot of other things to consider also when you come into studying, not just the course itself, but also the place that you're going to go to, how that place is going to make you feel, especially if you are a creative person. Bournemouth is an ideal location, we find, for students in the sense that we are close to the sea. Students are walking distance from some of the most beautiful and stunning seafront line in the southwest of UK. But it's a very strategic place because we are so close to every major city within the UK. But the cost of living in Bournemouth is very different and much more affordable for students that perhaps living in a big city. So they kind of have the best of both worlds. they can still go and enjoy other bigger cities if they want to, but being in a very beautiful location and very affordable for them. It's also a very strategic point in the UK because Bournemouth, even though it's not a major city, we actually have an international airport. And this is something that sometimes the students may not realize, but Bournemouth, with this international airport, give our students, national students, as well as international students, the opportunity to travel to all of the major cities in the Europe zone. So if they wanted to visit Spain for a weekend, or Italy or Switzerland, it's less than 2-3 hours flight, and there are regular flights available. So students can make their study abroad experience in one country very beneficial if they wanted to travel to other places and explore other places when they are here as well. And you go there, some of the images of the seafront in Bournemouth, some of the images from our campus at the bottom of that image. And as you can see, it's a very beautiful location. Our university, it's about 10 minutes from the second major harbor in the world after the one in Australia. So we are in a very unique setting, one of the most beautiful areas in the UK. And just to give everybody an understanding of the programs that we have for the students to study in our campus, we have obviously foundation courses, so students can come and do a foundation program, whether they wanted to do for a full year or whether they wanted to study our fast track and intensive international foundation diploma. We have an international foundation diploma that starts in January every year, and students can do in 6 months. And it's a wonderful opportunity for those that wanted to progress into a degree course afterwards. And then we obviously have degree programs in so many different subjects in art, design, media, and performance. And of course, postgraduate master for those that perhaps have finished already a degree back at home and they wanted to come to the UK and study a postgraduate program. There are also summer courses opportunities. So if students wanted to come for a short period of time during their summer holidays, perhaps a couple of weeks, and work on preparing their portfolio, we have programs like that available, as well as short study options if they wanted to come to do a study abroad program with our degree students for a term or a semester. So a lot of options available for the students. And one of the things that I think is really important, let me just bring that down. One of the things that is really important to understand is that the way that our courses will work is through a lot of collaboration, through productions, through live projects that we are getting, sometimes from industry, sometimes from the courses itself. And we make students to work through collaboration. As I mentioned before, all those images that you can see there is work productions, things that our students are working on. And we have some great settings and some great structures within our university. For example, in the case of a film, we hold, as you saw in that video, the Bournemouth Film School, which it's a combination of different programs that we got at AUB: film production, animation production, visual effects for film and television, makeup for performance, film and television. We also have programs like costume design. So there is a lot of programs that come together to recreate the projects that we work through our Bournemouth Film School, which is the bigger film school that exists in the UK outside of London. So I think it's great for parents and for students here to understand that when they are considering to study something like the creative arts and going into trying to get a job, a career within that industry, whether they wanted to work for a company within that industry, whether there are students that are very much into developing their own business once they graduated, whether it's to work as a freelance, whatever that is an industry that requires to, when you are studying it, preparing yourself with a set of skills that is very specialist. and it requires a setting where students are able to work on the latest equipment, the same that the industry is working. It requires that students are able to develop the skills that the industry look for in students that come into work for the industry, such as creative thinking, such as collaboration skills, teamwork skills. So there are a lot of skills that we develop with our students across the 3 years they are with us. And as you can see in there, we have programs and degrees from acting, VFX, so visual effects for film and television, architecture, model making, costume, interior architecture and design, illustration, photography, creative writing. And what we do is we make our students actually work in collaboration with each other as well. And so this is the part where I summarize and I'm trying to give you a picture of who we are as an institution, and probably one of the reasons why we're being invited by the Academy today, with the great work that they are doing already with all of the students here today, to talk about more of a specialist subject. And what we are going to sort of focus today, it's more into the animation production course, because I believe that's the main interest for most of you here today. And animation is a program that obviously is everywhere nowadays. The entertainment industry has grown to levels that nobody was predicting many years ago. And especially in the last few years, we are seeing so many changes, and there are many more to come. That is probably a different conversation to the ones we have today that we could have in another moment. But there is a lot of new things coming up within animation production. And it's a program that it's in the mind of many students all over the world. As I mentioned before, it's one of the most popular courses that we have at AUB. We receive hundreds and hundreds of applicants every year for this program. We also have a very high percentage of career progression. So students, once they finish their degree, they get a really high percentage of employability with it as well. And of course, there are a lot of companies that students from our institution link with once they graduate. You saw some of the names in there, like Armand, Disney, Pixar. There are many different creative industry companies that we work closely, that we got students working, or they have worked in the past. So what we are trying to ensure is that a course that is a success, and we ensuring that develop the creative skill set that students need. So the course is a fully accredited curriculum program, and it's a production-based studio course. So it's all very practical and very focused on students developing those skills. You have in there some of the descriptions of some of the things that they cover as the fundamentals, and we're going to go through each year what the students do as well. But as you can see in there, the course will take students from the journey of introducing them to the fundamentals of, drawing and skilling and painting, and we will take them through the first year through a series of workshops and life skills developments that they need in order to understand very well the program they are working on. It's a very hand-drawn, stop motion, and very focused on the hand skill set that the students got. And we will be looking at some of the things that they look for in portfolios for students that are applying for this course. But one of the most important things to see for our academic team to see in those portfolios is the drawing skills of the students, and also how they develop ideas from the very beginning and a concept from beginning to the end, how their creative thinking process work through those ideas, and how they use their drawing skills to showcase that as well. So the program itself, the animation production, the same than all of the other degree courses that we offer here at AUB, they are 3 years programs. So students will complete the course in 3 years. And in here I'm going to stop talking for a couple of minutes just to showcase some of the work that our students have produced. Actually, this is the showcase of our graduate students from 2022. We just have the graduation of our class of 2023 that took place in Bournemouth, in the beautiful seafront. We have the graduation from our students this year. But this is a showcase of the students that graduated last year from the animation course. And I hope that you enjoy looking at the work that they are able to produce. I think it's always really nice to see some of the work that the students produce in the programs, because they actually give you a really good perspective of the skills that they have got through the 3 years. And I put in here something that I thought for those that are considering to study animation production, to get a good understanding of the sort of things that they do on the first year, or level 4, like we call it here in the UK, the second year and the third year. So the first year, it's pretty much an introduction. It's for you to get a good understanding on the fundamental principles of animation. It's really through a lot of workshops, seminars, lectures, where we actually trying to ensure that the students get all of the techniques that they are going to need. They use all the contemporary software that is out there, so the same that the industry use, and the university, we will see some of the access to that type of software that they have in second. I got another slide where they're going to be able to see the type of equipment they work with in the course as well. The main thing on the first year is to teach students those, 12 principles of the animation, the theory, the practice. They do a lot of work on 2D animation exercise take place. And then also there is a lot of emphasis on the sketchbooks, in exploring their drawing, in exploring how they represent that drawing through different medias, not just one. So it's a way for them to develop also and to dig a little bit more into the storytelling and how they present that through their drawings as well. So a lot of that happening on the first year. The second year it's one where they develop more of the individual role that they wanted to have within an animation production setting. So when we talk about animation production, we sometimes believe that everybody will be doing exactly the same, but within an animation production, the same than a film, the same than any other project, there will be professionals that will be doing different type of work, editing, producing, working alongside different aspects of the project. So the second year, it has students already have a full year of understanding what architecture is and what animation is. They also have an understanding of how the animation industry works and the sort of skills and the sort of positions and the sort of works that will be available within that. And they will be able to start understanding where they see themselves positioning as a specialist within animation production to take that pathway perhaps for their future career. So the second year gives them an opportunity to have more team-based focused projects on the things that they wanted to upskill the most. There is also obviously development still of activities and abilities that are very important for the 2D, for stop motion. So all of those things continue, but there is also that opportunity to get more close to the industry practices with how they working, with how they doing on that. So that's something that it's happening a lot in the second year. And then the third year is the opportunity that they have to really demonstrate all of the things that they have learned and all actually taking responsibility within a real production that they need to complete and present at the end of the third year. So they will be working on a live and real production and post-production in the whole process through for the successful completion of that. One of the great things about being a specialist university is that allow us to have a lot of mentorship and a lot of work on a one-to-one basis as well with the students and follow up their progress and their work with their projects. So that's something that students, creative students really appreciate when they come to AUB, that they are able to have access to a great team of professional lecturers, professionals from the industry itself, as we have a lot of our professors and teachers actually still work for the industry, and also a lot of tech demonstrators, a lot of people that are actually really involved with the industry still, where they can go to talk about their project, to present their ideas and to discuss. So they found that way of working and communicating with the creative teams that they have available in the animation really extraordinary. So that's something that I will perhaps point it out of this course, that students tend to talk really, really high about all of their professors, the teachers, the support team that they have on the course. There are a lot of different things that they are going to be looking when students are applying for the course. What I did in there is put for the first year only some of the skills, the things that I just mentioned really, and for students and parents here today, just also to understand how the higher education at the university study level works. And it's a very mixed of different elements that come together. So students are going to be exposed to practical workshops. They're going to be having access to workshops facilities. They're going to be working on collaboration. They're going to be doing live drawing activities. They're going to be having theory lectures. They're going to have keynote speakers coming from the industry to campus nearly every week. So we have a lot of keynote speakers, producers from some of the top animation companies that come to our university to do speeches about the industry, about the jobs that they are doing, the works that they are doing, and to sort of inspire our students to learn more directly from those that are coming from the industry. It's really, really important, especially in animation. And then a lot of practical skills, a lot of development of the drawing skills that are extremely important for this program. And as I was mentioning before, one of the things that are very, very relevant for students when they're coming to do a program like animation is like, what type of studios I'm going to be studying at, what type of access to the software. Nobody wanted to study with software that we were using 3 years ago or even 4 years ago. The industry is changing very rapidly, very quickly nowadays. And especially universities like ours trying to ensure that we are using the latest software, the latest equipment, the same in the industry. So our students learn and change at the same time that the industry is changing and learning. And that is something very, very important to be a graduate student in order to successfully trying to get yourself a job within that industry. So we have the industry standard animation software as well as the industry standard hardware. And I put in here, for those of you that are perhaps already looking into animation and what you're going to study and the type of things that you're going to work with, some of those resources and some of those software and hardware that you are going to be able to use and to have access to. The university have full equipment access for all of the students, and they will be granted access to all of those softwares and hardwares as soon as they start in the campus. So it's a great value for the students to know that they are going to have access to all of this to study and to develop any projects they want during their study time as well. So quite some of very impressive resources in there that they have access to, and they can also borrow to do their own work outside the campus as well. So a little bit more about some of those, maybe some of the students here today already using those ones, they already know them. And in that case, it is fantastic if they know, they will be introduced as they're going along in the years of the animation course. So again, the teaching and the learning, something to understand in a specialist and practical university like AUB, like the Arts University Bournemouth, is that everything is going to be very focused and to developing the practical skills of the students. So it's all about create, make, and do when you are with us. There will be teaching, there will be independent learning, there will be academic support. So you have in there some of the information on the contact time, the contact hours that you have through tutors and through the different learnings that you are going to be doing. I put this one in here. I cannot click on those links because there are several at once, so it will take us into different places. But just to showcase, and I'm sure that some of you, if you are considering to come and study at AUB, you've probably been in our website and have a look already at some of the films that we have in there. All those ones are the full version films that our students in animation production have created. So if you wanted to explore and see a little bit more the different styles, the different things that students do in animation in our university, I will encourage you to go over there and have a look. And I can share the link for this specific page later on in the chat as well. So this is where we have covered a lot of the information specifically about animation production. But obviously, as we mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, we offer a full range of other degree, specialist degree programs in AUB. So it may be that some of the students here or the parents listening for the students may be interesting to learn more about any of the other programs that we have. One of the courses that come to mind that it's usually very popular as well for students that are considering animation production is our visual effects for film and television, VFX, which is there at the bottom right-hand side of your screen. That program is also a 3-year course. And due to the high demand in the industry for VFX at the moment, we are finding that more and more students that want or have in their head to do something to do with media are tending to be inclined to explore now as an opportunity to study. Also, next year from 2024, we are having some amazing new programs coming up, like games design, like design for sustainable futures, like creative technologies, which is something that is in everybody's mind right now, how quick and fast the technologies are changing at the moment. And with the use of AI as well, there is a lot of changes coming for the industry where the students are going to have to be really well prepared, and we are going to see more and more of those type of courses emerging. So we are getting students ready for the changes that are coming in the industry in the coming years as well. And I have just to finish, and then I'm happy to open the chat to the Q&A. I don't know how we're doing with time, Joanne. You tell me if I'm maybe taking too long. But I also wanted to showcase some of the work that our graduate students have done with regards to the movies, the productions that they have worked, because sometimes it's very difficult to picture, but when you actually have seen a movie and you understand that some of the people from this university has worked on those movies, on those productions, it gives you a good idea of the real structure of the course and the links that we have with the industry. So Ashley is one of the visiting tutors at AUB, and that you have in there some of the movies that perhaps some of the students here today have already seen. And we have graduate students that have worked in some of the most major blockbuster movies in the industry, as well in animation production companies. We have students that have worked from costume design to animation to VFX, students from makeup that have worked in production. So we have a great alumni success across so many different companies and industries within the areas of media. Obviously, as you can see, I have focused everything very much for this presentation about that. And just to finish, one of the questions that we get a lot, and especially if the students here today are thinking to apply for a course, applying for something like animation production, that, as I mentioned before, is a very competitive course to actually get an offer into. It's a program that is very popular, and not all of the students that apply always get an offer into this program. So one of the things that will be in your minds, I believe, is what do you need to prepare for that portfolio, or if you are considering to apply in the future, because portfolio for a specialist university like ours, it's what it's really, really important. It's what makes us to be able to decide eventually on giving a student an offer or not for a program. It's really very much what it makes us see that the student got the potential to and the interest to do this program and to be successful later on in the industry. So we take portfolios very serious, and we wanted to ensure that students got as much information as possible to prepare their portfolios. So in our website, and again, I can put the link directly to that if you wanted to look at not just for animation, but for other courses as well, we have some portfolio guidelines that will give students a really good set of guidelines on what they need to see for a portfolio if they are applying for film production, or if they are applying for VFX, or if they are applying for architecture, whatever that is. But in this case, we have this little video that it's done by Tom Walsh, which is the course leader for our program in animation production. And this little video is just a couple of minutes just to finish, give a really good understanding of the things that he's looking for to see in your portfolios. So if you are considering to apply for this program, just have a look at this.
Hello everyone, my name is Tom Walsh. I'm the course leader for animation production at the AUB. So, what do we expect from a portfolio? Well, drawing is the first thing that we'd ask for. It's really important to the course. A lot of the animation principles that we teach are taught through drawing films frame by frame. So when we look in a portfolio, we really like to see lots of drawing. That can be life drawing with a model in a studio if you have access to it. It can also mean a lot of still life work. It can also mean observational drawing, so taking a sketchbook, going out into the world, drawing people, animals, places, buildings, trees, that type of thing. So drawing is really important. The next thing we like to see in your sketchbooks is your creative work. So any character designs, environment designs, prop designs, any of your story ideas. So storyboard panels, all of that kind of stuff. We really like to see that. If you're working in CG, we like to see turnarounds, turntables of any characters you might build or any environments you might build. If you're working in stop motion, we also like to see anything you might sculpt, so puppets, sets, props. If you are going to photograph things, try and photograph them against a neutral background. Put something in the shot that gives us a sense of scale. Something like a coin is good for any sort of puppets or props that you might want to photograph. Sometimes people ask, do we actually need to see animation in a portfolio? If you've got animation, brilliant. We want to see it. That would be fantastic. A showreel of about 20 seconds should be plenty for us. Doesn't matter what type of animation you might be doing, so it can be 2D, it can be stop motion, it can be CG. However, having animation is not absolutely essential for your portfolio. We're here to teach you animation, but we would also recommend that you have a play with it. Lots of free software out there that you can use to have a play with some animation, things like Blender for CG. Stop Motion Studio is a great app that you can use for 2D and stop-mo work. So please do have a play with it, but it's not essential at this stage. So that's everything. That's the advice I've got for you. Thank you very much for listening, and hopefully we'll see your portfolio soon.
So that is, I think I'm going to stop sharing the presentation now. I hope that was informative, and I'm so looking forward to any questions from the audience now.
Okay, thank you for your dedicated presentations. A lot of information that's very precious to our student and parents. I will quickly summarize some essential points in your presentation to our parents and our students. You know, mostly when parent and student come to Artpink, the first thing they say that to Artpink teams is 3 generations of my family, no one's do art. So until hers, she decided to pursuing the art career. So we are very nervous and don't know how to do. So Artpink always the unit that helps the students and parents understand the career that they are going through. And the most questions about students when they have the chance to meet the professional team at some art university is always about the portfolio. Actually, our students, they have the foundation knowledge, they have the skill, they have the practice. It's very with the huge our practices. But why they still asking about that? Because they very consciously careful when they approach to the new area that their parents don't know. So they have to make sure that it's the right things they will tell to their parents. So I will talk in Vietnamese to our parents today, so let them know the essence of the point you have shared about UBs and about the aiming scores in UB. Có một điều khi mà tất cả phụ huynh và học viên khi tới Artpink tư vấn thì đều có một câu rất là kinh điển, đấy là nhà tôi 3 đời là không có ai theo nghệ thuật cả. Và đấy là lý do tại sao mà dấy lên cái nỗi lo của phụ huynh khi mà con mình là muốn theo những cái chuyên ngành văn nghệ thuật. Thì trong slide cô Maria có chia sẻ rất là rõ những cái tiêu chí khi mà tìm hiểu về một ngôi trường, thì ngoài cái việc là hiểu rõ được là cái chuyên ngành mà mình có thể mà con mình đang mong muốn theo đuổi, thì bên cạnh đấy cũng hiểu rất rõ là trong cái chuyên ngành đấy khi mà đi học tại ngôi trường mà mình đang tìm hiểu thì sẽ cần những cái thông tin gì, và mình phải hình dung được diễn biến đời sống của con mình khi mà đi học tại trường hoặc quốc gia đấy. Thì bên cạnh đấy thì cô Maria cũng có chia sẻ rất là kỹ những cái tiêu chí đấy là liên quan đến đời sống. Một trong những cái tiêu chí đầu tiên đấy là là tiêu chí về thành phố. Bournemouth is a beautiful city. Yeah. Cô cũng có chia sẻ về những cái tiêu chí về địa lý. Ngoài việc khi mà đi học chúng ta có thể trang bị cho con một môi trường tốt với những đội ngũ giảng viên tốt ra, thì bên cạnh đấy đời sống cũng rất quan trọng. Khi chúng ta cho con đi học tại một nơi trung tâm mà nó thường xuyên diễn ra những sự kiện văn hóa nghệ thuật và nó nằm ở cạnh những cái trung tâm thành phố lớn, những cái major city, thì đấy là một cái cơ hội để các học viên để có thể là tiếp cận những cái kiến thức mới ngoài đời sống. Bởi vì đi học nghệ thuật thì ngoài việc là mình học trong trường để chúng ta có thể là có kiến thức để đánh giá nghệ thuật của người khác, thì cái việc phát triển nghệ thuật cá nhân rất quan trọng và nó gắn liền với thực hành đời sống. Và bên cạnh đấy thì Bournemouth cũng là một thành phố có mức chi phí hợp lý, và nó nằm cạnh chỉ cách 2 giờ để di chuyển lên những thành phố lớn hoặc là những trọng điểm về văn hóa nghệ thuật tại những quốc gia như ở Ý, như hay là ở Thụy Điển. Thì đây là một trong những cái lợi thế mà thành phố Bournemouth có được. Và bên cạnh đấy thì khi mà đi học chuyên ngành animation thì như quý vị phụ huynh và các học viên vừa thấy thì trường rất là chú trọng là khả năng thực hành cũng như là hệ thống kiến thức nền để các bạn có thể là tiếp cận chuyên ngành animation. Hãy đảm bảo là các bạn thể hiện là mình thể hiện được cái động lực và cái đam mê trong việc đi học, và không quan trọng là các bạn thực hành trên chất liệu là 2D hay là animation CG, miễn là các bạn có thể thể hiện được là cái đam mê của mình và những tiêu chí để thể hiện là mình đang tiếp cận nó và mình thực sự là mình có một cái động lực và cái nhu cầu đi học về chuyên ngành này. Bên cạnh đấy thì một trong những tiêu chí khi mà đi chọn trường là chúng ta có thể thấy được là AUB có thể trang bị cho học sinh từ năm nhất tới năm cuối cùng. Ngoài những cái kiến thức ra thì những cái cơ sở vật chất facility của trường rất là hiện đại, và nó cho các bạn ấy có một cái cách tiếp cận về những cái chuyên ngành, về cái thực hành trong nền công nghiệp animation này. Từ cái việc là trong phòng lab mà được tiếp cận những cái hệ thống software mà được chính những cái người hành nghề đang sử dụng, thì đây cũng là một cái cơ hội để các bạn có thêm những cái tầm nhìn và những kinh nghiệm cũng như cái lợi thế khi mà tiếp cận chuyên ngành animation và tìm hiểu ngành animation. Trong đấy thì trường và cô Maria có chia sẻ là bên cạnh những cơ sở vật chất ra thì còn có những cái buổi workshop cũng như là những cái buổi chia sẻ với những cái chuyên gia và những cái doanh nghiệp mà có nhu cầu tuyển dụng nhân sự lao động trong lĩnh vực animation này. Thì đây cũng là một cái lợi thế, và đặc biệt là trường AUB là một trường tập trung chuyên biệt về art, và như quý phụ huynh và học viên có thể thấy là trong một khối thì các bạn có thể tiếp xúc được rất là nhiều những cái field khác nhau, những cái chuyên ngành khác nhau, như kiểu custom design là thiết kế về trang phục này, hay là về make up, những cái khâu ekip hậu kỳ mà để có thể phục vụ trong sản xuất phim cũng như animation. Thì đây là một cái cơ hội để các bạn có thể là có kiến thức liên ngành và đa ngành lên một cái cơ hội rất là tốt cho lĩnh vực animation. Thì tôi vừa tóm tắt lại những cái điểm chính và trong những cái phần chia sẻ của cô Maria vừa rồi về trường AUB cũng như là về chuyên ngành animation tại trường. Và quý vị phụ huynh có những câu hỏi nào thì có thể đặt lại ở trên trên box chat của buổi webinar hôm nay. Và sau đây tôi sẽ xin phép được show ra được là những cái câu hỏi mà phụ huynh và học viên vừa chia sẻ vừa rồi. So Ms Maria, I will share all the questions that Artpink had collected from the parents and students, so you can look around and choose the questions that you can give them the information that they want.
Of course. I can see there are some questions on the chat.
Okay. I will go into the Google Docs and share screen so you can look.
Yes, I can see some of them, I can start with the ones that I can reply straight away if you want. There's somebody who that is asking what skills does AUB expect from an animation student. I think pretty much we have covered that. Maybe you put the question before we ran the portfolio video from Tom Walsh, but all of the things that he mentioned on that video. So as an animation student, as Tom said in that video, your drawing skills are very important in your portfolio. They're going to be looking at how you present those skills and see the use of different techniques, of different medium. It's really, really important. So I think that's probably one of the things that is more important for this course. And then all of the other things that obviously he has said in there. There is another question. Oh, thank you for that. You have translated for me. Excellent. Thank you so much. The next one that I see here, it's my daughter has a dream of being a comic painter, and she has the potential to create story scripts. That's wonderful. Excellent. Is animation suitable for her? Definitely. So if your daughter has the dream of, to actually use her drawing, animation, it's a great program because as we explained during this session, they will be constantly drawing through the animation. Now, if her dream is obviously become a comic painter, that she should explore also other things. So if she wanted to work in paper, or she wanted to work in digital, but mainly focusing on the illustration side, maybe she wanted to explore a degree like illustration, perhaps. So there are students that come and do 3 years degree in illustration with us. And normally the careers that those students tend to take after completing a 3-year illustration, it takes them to be illustrators for books, magazines, comics, for the online, for the web as well. So there are a lot of different opportunities within the illustration industry. So if she wanted to do something that it's more comic related and more focused and not necessarily the media side of the production, then she could explore that. Now, if she's not sure yet, which that could be also the case, and that's something that I find a lot with young students and their parents, that they may wanted to know something, but because they haven't been able to study the subject yet, they may not be sure of all the different careers and opportunities. So I would probably say the best thing for your daughter will be to explore things like illustration, like animation, because there are definitely programs where she will have to draw and develop her skills, and perhaps look at the career destinations for comic designers, for comic illustrators, where they actually coming, what type of pathways. Is it more from the illustration? And perhaps look at those programs as well before making a final decision. That will be my recommendation probably in there. Okay, there is another, I'm probably jumping different orders, so I apologize for that. I will get to all of the questions. There is somebody say, based on the course content, I'm wondering if I want to learn 3D methods. So how could I learn it at AUB? Very good question. And is there any other courses or I could learn in animation production course? So you can learn in animation production course. In fact, if I could, will I just share my screen to Anne very quickly, just to show something to this student about 3D? Because you very well spotted that a lot of the things on the program is 2D focused, but there are also elements, or can be elements of 3D as well. And if I show you, let me see if I can, if I share my screen, are you able to see it? Can you see my screen?
I opened the multiple shares.
Okay, so maybe everybody can see my screen now, yes? No?
Okay.
Okay, let me, yes, is it, okay, sorry, I came out of it again. So this is, for example, an example for you, for that student asking about the 3D. So this is something that happened already a few years ago, but there are projects like this happening all the time. This was a project for BA animation students that they create some innovative 3D zoetrope in collaboration with our MODIP. MODIP is the Museum of Design and Plastic in AUB. It's the only museum of this type that is here in Europe, and it's a museum that has an absolutely amazing a collection of plastic different products that the students are using to create and to develop so many different projects. Again, this is one of the things that I was explaining in the presentation, where collaboration takes place and students ending up working on more of the things that they may be interested in. So in the case of 3D, and you wanted to explore more of that area, there is always opportunities like this one where that thing can happen. And this was an absolutely amazing project where they create, I don't know if you will be able to see the screen. Can you see the video coming up? Or yes, it's coming up. And this is the 3D project, some of the images of that 3D project that took place with those students, and they embedded a lot of that practice in there. There are several videos in there where you can watch actually and see how it works. So a lot of different ones if you wanted to explore more and have a look in there. So answering to your question, yes, the program is very much focused on the 2D side, but there are opportunities, especially in the second year, like we explained before, where students can take a pathway and work on the things that they wanted to focus more as a career for their future. Another question is somebody's asking, what are the difference between animation and cartoons? I mean, what a great question, actually. And I have wondered this myself, and please apologize because this is not coming from a specialist in animation. But animation normally, just to understand the difference, or you know what I know about it, is animation normally refers to the technique of photographing like a lot of different drawings and different position models to create an illusion of movement, right? So the film that you see, it's happening one after the other one. Cartoons can be either referred to the drawing or refer to an actual television program or a film made using animation technique, for example. So there is, that's the difference when, you know, talking particularly about animation or cartoons that I understand. Then let me see the other question. I've always, does AUB have any lab studios that support students in different majors? 100%. We have different studios. So we have our university, just for you to understand, it's a state-of-the-art facilities. It's all designed in studios. So you go around our campus and you see film studios, photography studios, fashion studios, costume studios, makeup studios, VFX studios, print rooms, workshops where students do real work with different machinery, whether it's wood, metal, whether they are working in a project with architecture and model makers and they are creating a 3D model using a 3D laser cutting machine. And all of those resources are open to all of the students. So if you work in collaboration in a project and you can use the workshops, you can use all the equipment and facilities in there. Of course, being part of a particular course like animation production or film or photography or whatever that is, you will be more working on a specific studio dedicated to your line of studies. But you also have access to many others, like, for example, print rooms. So you can use, students can explore opportunities from preparing your set design for your animation movies. You maybe wanted to have in your set for your animation, when you are in the production part, you may want it to have some type of cloth with a specific printing on it. You can go to the textile site, print those ones in the print room, get the ink going. So we are allowing you for AUB to be your playground, for you to explore different techniques, to work in collaboration with others. So you may not going to ending up just learning about your specific specialism. Obviously, we're going to make you a great specialist on what you are studying with us, but you're also going to learn a world of other things about other areas that you're going to be able to embed it in your practice. And this is why it makes studying a specialist university something very different and unique that you will not find anywhere else. And this is why it's very important as a creative person that you understand that studying in a specialist environment is going to allow you to grow as a creative person, because it gives you access and opportunities to all that equipment, and not just restrict you to the studios or the facilities that you must use because you are a film student and you are not a photography student, for example. So that is something that to take into consideration. So yes, definitely a lot of studios to use to improve the skills and knowledge and an animation student needs. Could you recommend some useful books for us? Wow, there is so many different books that we could recommend for you to start with. I think one of the things that I will recommend to everybody is to start by looking at some of the references that we have in our website already. So if you go, let me just share with you very quickly the link to our animation production page. This link takes you straight away to the page of our animation production course. You may say, well, I'm actually not interested in animation. I'm interested in, I don't know, any other program. So if this is the case, I also added in here the link to all of our undergraduate courses. So that takes you to the sort of picture that I show you in the slides with a lot of different pictures for all the different courses. So if you click on there, it will take you to the page in any of our courses. My recommendation, if you wanted to learn more about the type of books and the type of things that you could read, go through those pages, because in there, we give you an opportunity. It's kind of like a little window. We give you an opportunity to look at some of the work the students producing, some of the recommendations from our team. So you will be there seeing some references of websites, like Tom was mentioning in his video. He was giving you some names for some apps and some resources that you can use because it's free, and you could start working on some of those movie motions if you want. So there are a lot of different tools and things that you can use. My recommendation will be to start from that page, because in there you will be able to find a lot. If you would like to have, there's a lot in internet, obviously, that you can find. If you would like to have some more specific, like books that you could read directly, I'm more than happy to look into the program itself to see what other books they have within the program that they could recommend to first-year students, and I can share some of those with you and for you to maybe pass on to the students later on. That's not a problem at all. To improve, we've done that one. We've done that one as well. The effective ways to keep up with animation trends. Watch a lot, read a lot, and just keep practicing a lot too. I think that will be my watch, read, practice. I think that will be my recommendation, you know. And I will say a lot of people will say it's animation, just watch and make, create, practice, but read also. Read is very important, and sometimes we're forgetting the importance of reading. So continue reading, no matter how much the visual world is taking over. Reading and the power of words is also very important to keep it in mind. What project you enjoy that you most proud of, and why? Whoa, that's a very very generic question. I don't know where to start in there. I mean, I suppose this is a personal question about a creative project myself, or is it a question about the animation in general? Maybe I leave the person that asked that question to clarify, and then I go back to it and answer in a second. What are the differences between animation and cartoons? We explained that. What does ringing means in animation? I don't know what you mean by ringing means in animation. I need to get back to that one as well. I'm not sure what they mean on that one. What kind of strategies and mindsets are required for an animator? I will say skills, kind of strategies and mindset. I would say when we're talking about mindset for any creative person, really, not just an animator, I think allow yourself time for your creativity to flow. I think it's a very important mindset to have as well. I think everything is very speedy nowadays, and I think when you want creativity to flow in general, sometimes you need to give time for that creativity to flow. So I think that's important. But if we talk about animators specifically, again, I have to go back to like strategies or things that are really important for somebody that wanted to start studying animation production. The drawing, it's a skill that they really need to be mastering and working really to develop. So I think that has to come back on the table if it's just talking about an animator. Creating, what is the process of creating a character design? Well, this could be another full presentation to talk about creating a character design, to be honest with you. So we may need a lot of more time, and I don't know how we're doing with time, so you please tell me. But the production of creating character design involve a lot of different things. Involve a lot of different processes that need to take place, from the first generation of the idea, the drawing of your character, and then to give really the life to your character. You have to go through a lot of different sets of processes that you need to go through. And unfortunately, I don't think we got time to go through all of those ones, but this is something that in the course, it's very, very well covered and very well worked by students, especially on the first year, because that's when we were looking at it early, where all of the storytelling happening and all of the process of the storytelling. So students need to start working on their character design, on their character ideas. And a lot of the process happening through the drawing again. So this is why it's extremely important that a skill is really well mastered by students. Is working freelance better than employment as an animator? Well, very good question. And I have to say that it depends. It depends a lot on your mindset, how you are as a person as well. I mean, some students, they have this focus that when they are finishing their degree, this is the list of companies that they wanted to go and work for. This is the type of employment that they wanted to go. They wanted to work for Disney or Pixar or Arman or any other big animation company name, because that's the dream, and there's the reason maybe why they started being interested in animation and they wanted to study animation. Because maybe a movie from one of those firms inspired them, or maybe for whatever reason. So I think it very much depends on the person, and there is not right or wrong. I think most students tend to start working for some industry before, at the beginning, to gain some more practical experience within that industry, and then to jump into the freelance arena later on when they have a little bit more of experience. But I have also seen a lot of students from the creative degrees that goes and they go freelance straight away. The good thing about being freelance that a lot of students identify very quickly is the fact that freelance work is happening nowadays more and more globally. So a lot of students are able to find work being freelance anywhere in the world. So the amount of opportunities you open to yourself sometimes can be bigger than when you're restricted to only work for a particular company. But obviously, to work as a freelance, you have to have a mindset of being entrepreneurial. You know, you need to actually, you are your business. So you have to get jobs, you have to promote yourself as a freelance, and you have to get a lot of things going. So you have to have a lot of set of skills. One of the things that I will say for those of you that don't know what type of career or companies or jobs you're going to do in the future, and you want to explore opportunities on that, it's AUB take very serious the support that students need to have across the 3 years they are with us, but especially on the last year of their degree courses. So one of the things that we have is we have a focused career service team in the Arts University Bournemouth. So what you will experience as an AUB student is that you're going to study through your 3 years, and those career services team are going to be inviting you as a part of our student group to different things. So you can start from having sessions on preparing interviews, how to prepare yourself for an interview for a particular job, how to they will put you in giving you access to watch keynote speakers or people that come from the industry that you can interact with, you can network. We also give you an opportunity, especially on the last year, to look through with you your plan of where you're going to go next when you finish university, and help you to develop. So if you decided on your 3rd year that when you finish, you wanted to set up your own company or you want to be working as a freelance, we will give you the tools, the knowledge, and the understanding on how being a freelance in that industry work. And you can take that for your next step. So the job of us as an institution is not just about giving you the knowledge and then let you go. We also wanted to ensure that we are setting up for your future the things that you're going to need for your next steps. Another thing that we have also in AUB is that we have a very close alumni network. So a lot of our alumni have graduated and have successfully going out there now, or they are already out there in the industry working. So once you graduate, you become automatically part of this alumni network that it's conformed by thousands and thousands of AUB graduated students that are displayed all over the world working in different industries. So you can extend your networking connections with those alumni as well. So we are trying to, almost like a web, trying to ensure that we put enough things in place for you to develop in the creative career you want. And we all know if you wanted to go to the creative industries, it's all very much about making connections, getting to know the industry, the people that work in that industry. And this is one of the reasons why we do a lot of these collaboration projects as well between the students, because a lot of those connections and networks happening working to collaboration. I cannot even count the amount of times we may have a student that just graduate and got a call from another student from another course that they work together in a project, and their production company are looking for some animator producer, or it's looking for an illustrator, and because they work together in AUB, they refer, and then they get into the project and they get working together again. So a lot of the work happens like that. People know each other, what you do, and it's all about getting those connections in place as well. Do we miss any questions? I'm not sure. What are the methods to adjust coloring choices if you have an animation with a lot of color specific details? So this is a very particular question about some specific softwares, and I'm not going to be able to answer that one, I'm afraid, myself. So depending on what software you're using specifically, there I will recommend you to, whatever software you're using, to go to that are, can't remember the name now, but there is a website that I know a lot of students use that they get quite a lot of information on how to get manuals for softwares, you know. Can't remember the name, but I know that there are places where you can check more on that specific software. So I would recommend you to look into those ones, have a look at the software you're using and check. There is also a lot of different websites that offer like video training, where you can see how they change live, some different options and different softwares. So that's something that you can look as well for that specific software. I just don't know what software you're using for the coloring. So it may be different ones than the animation one that you're using that I may not even know about myself. I think we covered all the questions. I don't know if I'm missing any. Please tell me. Tuan, Arullo, if I miss any questions. Do you consider culture and tradition elements in an animation portfolio? 100%. Yes, yes, yes. We it's actually one of the things in portfolio, and I don't know if I'm mentioning one, because obviously this session and you got your academy here, which can give you a lot of more and probably better information than me on portfolios. But one of the things on portfolios that it's really, really important, it's to showcase your personality. We wanted to see the skills, you know, but we also want that portfolio to tell us more about you as a creative, as a person. And when you bring up your culture, your traditions, your ways of seeing the world, which may be very different to how other people look at the same world, it's bringing your own personality into that portfolio. And we love to see that as a creative person, that you are able to translate, to transfer, and to share that vision and that view that you have internally yourself to the outside world through your art. So yes, definitely bringing those ones into your portfolio, it's really good.
So we have one last questions. Is it the first questions on the page?
I have always been waiting to pick up animation and plan on majoring in it when I go to university, but I'm having a bit of trouble. Where do I start? Is there any tips and tricks for beginners, and how do you deal with artist block when it comes to animating? Okay, so a lot of different questions in that one. So when you're talking about you wanted to major in to do animation, so when you to start with, it's to again, I will recommend you to go start, for example, in our page, in our website about animation, but you can go to many other places to find out more about animation. The main thing will be that you start on working on those skills, you know, your drawing skills, like Tom mentioned. If you don't have, if you haven't done anything at all on animation yet, because you haven't created any animation, any move, any motion movie yet, that's fine. There are, like he mentioned, a few applications that you can download, that they are free, and then you can start having a play with it. So that will be a good way for you to check. Another thing that I could suggest is when every year in the Arts University Bournemouth, for all of the students that graduate, we have a summer show. So our summer show, it's literally our university becomes this beautiful and wonderful exhibition space where all of the work of our students is displayed. It's just an amazing feeling to walk around a university campus and to walk through studios and studios and studios, and it's all like an amazing display of the artwork for all of our courses. And we have access for students that are in other parts of the world that wanted to explore and see the work that our students produce in our summer shows link. And in there, a lot of the students have kind of like a profile where they explain, you know, the reasons why they choose the course, or the reasons why they wanted to be an animator, and then or they explain their work, why they have that style in animation. So it gives a lot of information from the student perspective on the things that they make them deal with their artist blog, or how they done things, especially at the beginning as well. So I will probably recommend you to visit places like that, because in there you can read more about what other students base their decision on study animation as well. Let me see if I can find the link quickly for you, and I try to put in the chat box as well. Let me see if I can find it. Sorry, give me just a second. Shows. So this is the explore online shows. I don't know if the no, the 20, we have only the 2022 and the 2023 maybe coming up into the website soon, because we have our summer shows just happening literally a couple of weeks ago. So but you have access there to the 2022 one. So if you click in there, and I can maybe share, this is the look of the page. I can just share with you quickly. So when you go to the summer shows, this is what I mean, you can go to the undergraduate ones, right, which is summer shows 2022. And then in there you have, again, the full list of all the, let's see if you want to work. I got 7 different things open. I don't know if my internet is going to, okay, yeah. So in there, you see you can explore by course or explore by name. So imagine that you know already a student from the academy that came a few years ago to AUB and is being a student in one of the courses, and you wanted to check out their work after they graduated, what they've done. So you can go to the name and find that student and read more about it. So there is a lot of different things that you can look at. I think this student, for example, and then people can get in touch with them as well if they need to. So, sorry, I got my, and then you got a set of information for some of them from the students. So there is a lot of information in there. I will recommend anybody to explore those ones. And again, you can do it by course. So if you want to look just at what the animation production students have done, you can go in there and then you go, this student, for example, and this is what I mean. You see, you got a description of why they did this course, the reasons, the plans that they have, what they wanted to do after as an artist. They got all of their things in there, because don't forget, for us, this is the first way and the first portal, and we get a lot of students selected by the industry thanks to this portal, where they have access to all of their work straight away, and they are just graduating that year. And then you can see the work of the students, so you can explore the work that they done and read about that person as well. So I think for this particular student that is asking about where can I read more about animation or look at things, that may be a good place to start, but it's so much out there that you can check in the website as well about, you know, online about so many different things. So just explore a lot.
Yeah, thank you, Maria. That's great when AUB can build up a lot of sites and informations to the website for students can have the clear and specific scenario when they study in AUB. And I just want the last questions just for a student in Artpink. She just like 17, and she considers the animation as the major she wants to study in the future. But I consider that if AUB have a summer course for the international students who below the age 17, like
yes,
they will have the chance to see the different environments. You can see.
That's right. Yeah. No, very good question as well. And let me just show you in our website. Let me just show you how to navigate the website, because I know we're trying to do a website. We are creative community, so it's all very visual, and sometimes there is just so much that students can get in there to look, to review, to explore. But perhaps the easiest way to just find out more about the courses in this menu that they found in the right top hand side of the screen, you have a menu there, and if they go to study and they go to short courses, so summer courses will be underneath there. So for this student, if there are any students that would like to come beforehand, we have different programs available. The ones I will recommend will be these portfolio preparation courses. They are courses of 2 weeks only. Students can apply when they are 15 to 17 years old. And those courses are 2 weeks portfolio preparation courses. So even though they are fun in the summer and they will be developing a lot of skills, one of the focus of the course is trying to help them to prepare a portfolio if they are considering. So they may be coming already with some amazing skills coming from your academy to, with amazing portfolios, but they maybe haven't focused their portfolio into the course that they wanted to apply yet. So if that is the case, they could take a program like this one. So we have portfolio preparation in filmmaking, in animation production, in architecture and 3D design. We have a general one, preparation for the arts, which obviously they work on many different projects related to art and design. We also have one specific for fine art and also one for illustration as well. So there is a great selection that they can do. Those courses are very great. They come for students with all of the accommodation and things like that. So they don't need to worry about anything because they come like with full residential package. So the parents can book the student with the residential package. So they have the course, all the materials, some of the meals, the accommodation, everything can be included if they want it. And they are usually 2 weeks. At the moment, the information is in there is still the one for this summer. So those courses are taking place now or about to take place. But I think around September, end of August, beginning of September is when the courses for 2024, for summer 2024, you will be able to see it in the website. So if they keep checking this link, they will be able to see there the offer, which will be probably very similar.
I will prepare that for our student next year. That would be great.
Yeah, I just shared the link on about the summer courses. Those courses are, as I say, they are short courses. So anybody, they can book directly online, pay online, and then they just need to organize their trip and come over. So really great preparation courses. And in the summer, when they are on holidays, it will be a great experience. They also get to know a lot of the students from the campus, all of the other international students as well as national students. So great opportunity.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you for your professional sharings and your dedicated preparations. And cảm ơn quý vị phụ huynh và các học viên đã dành buổi tối thứ 6 cùng với Artpink và đơn vị trường AUB để chúng ta có thể đồng hành cùng với chương trình webinar. chia sẻ về vị thế, đầu ra và vị trí của ngành animation đối với trường AUB. Và nếu quý vị phụ huynh còn bất kỳ câu hỏi nào và muốn được Artpink cũng như các đơn vị chuyên gia, các đội ngũ chuyên gia của trường AUB giải đáp, thì quý vị phụ huynh có thể để lại thông tin ở trên fanpage hoặc có thể gửi đến email info@artpink.vn và để đội ngũ nhân sự của Artpink có thể là kịp thời reach tới quý vị phụ huynh và học viên để có thể là giải đáp với quý vị phụ huynh những thông tin cần thiết. Xin chúc quý vị phụ huynh một buổi tối thứ Sáu, một buổi tối cuối tuần an lành. So lastly, thank you again, Ms Maria and Arios. I hope Artpink can see you one day in UK, and someday if you come to Vietnam and Hanoi, Artpink have the chance to having you at our base in Hanoi.
Definitely. Thank you so much for having us. If you want, I can also share a general email of the university that Arullo and myself got access to. So if there are any other questions after this session from any student or any parent, anything that maybe they think about later on that they would like to ask us directly, we got an email in there, globalschools@aub.ac.uk, that will come directly to me and to Arullo. So we will be replying to any questions they have about this session today. Happy to do so. And also extending the same invitation to yourself and the whole of the team at the Academy. If you ever coming or anybody in here today to the UK, we will be delighted to welcome any students, parents, colleagues to come visit the AUB campus and visit us. And we will be honored to be able to show you the studios, the facilities, and for you to meet us and our students as well.
Yeah, actually, we have a student is studying at AUB right now. So I think in the future we will meet in the UK. So after this webinar, a lot of students will consider AUB as the next destination. So thank you again, Ms. Maria.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you so much for organizing and for the time, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Xin gửi lời chào tới quý phụ huynh và các học viên. Chúc quý phụ huynh và học viên một buổi an lành.